Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet the hosts of a very powerful podcast. It's called Hurt, Heal, Evolve. Their story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, it says so in the Bible that we're all flawed, but you can take the flaw or the pain and turn it into a purpose. And that's what my next 2 guests have done. They have channeled all of their energy into a powerful podcast called Hurt, Heal, Evolve. Joining us in studio, TiQuanna Fisher and Rachel Hardy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Yeah. Well, I should first do a shout out to Chris Gambari, who's been with me for 14 years. He's the producer of this show. And he says, Jeff, I've just met the most amazing ladies. They have to come over to Dallas and be on your show. So thank you for coming into the studio.
No problem.
TiQuanna, why don't you start by talking about what the show is about?
So the show is Hurt, Heal, Evolve. And basically, the Lord dropped this in my spirit, to be honest with you. I never thought that I would be sitting here even representing anything for my community. But Hurt, Heal, Evolve is a podcast. I just noticed that the world itself is hurting. And before I can even touch the nation or touch the world, I wanted to try to touch my community and let everybody know that we can hurt, but we have to heal and we have to evolve from it. So that's pretty much what the podcast talks about: our traumas, things we've been through, things going on in the community. And I'm targeting women, primarily minority women everywhere, but I have to start within my community in order to reach any other community.
Yes, and Rachel, you are not only the co-host of the show, but you also have another passion. We share about time.
Absolutely. Yes, I have a passion. It's called Time, and it's my nonprofit organization. Time stands for Tears in My Eyes. It is an organization that I put together to be an advocate, a trauma advocate for women that are coming home from prison. It is such a passion of mine that I felt as though I needed to connect with those women to let them know that they are not alone. So many times, we go unnoticed, and I don't want a woman to feel that way. And if there's anything I can do through my organization to make that next woman feel that, guess what? I'm here for you. I will hold your hand through this. I know that you have been through trauma. I have been through trauma, but you can get through this. I have been through my trauma. I'm still getting through it. However, it's gonna be a journey. It's not anything that just happens overnight. It takes a journey, but we can get through this. And I want that next woman to know that Time Foundation is an organization that sees you and that we don't judge, but we are here with open arms. We are willing to take you in just the way you are.
Wow, you're talking about 2 powerful women.
Yeah.
And there's a little preacher in you, by the way. I felt it.
I've heard that.
Okay. So, TiQuanna, we're going to pull up your website. And as we scroll down the website is flawedforpurpose.com.
Yes.
Why don't we talk about what you mean by flawed for purpose?
The number one thing people need to realize is that no one is perfect. And no matter what we've been through, we all have imperfections. We're going to be flawed. No matter how many good things we do, we're still not going to reach perfection. So flawed for purpose is letting everybody know, even though through those flaws, through all those imperfections, you still have purpose.
And we're looking at some pictures here. Why don't you just narrate what we're looking at?
Oh, they're going to kill me for this. This is my parents. That's me and my mom, actually, on her wedding day. That's me as a baby. And I put this up here to show the phases. I truly believe God had a plan for me throughout all those phases. So that's why I put those pictures up. Even when I wasn't walking in my purpose during those times, God still had a plan for me.
Wow. And so thank you, one, for putting that out there, because I think people, when they see your podcast is so professional, sometimes they forget that, there's real people behind the show.
Right.
I want to pull up your show open, and I want you to kind of narrate this. So this is what the show looks like. As you start to think about the guests that you will be inviting on the show, who comes to mind, and what kind of guests do you look for?
There's really no specific. I do want to channel people that hopefully are as transparent as possible. You don't have to be broken. You don't have to be going through something right now, but just being open and honest about what you have been through, where you're going, what you're feeling. Because there's a lot of hurt in the world. We can tell about all the interactions that's going on and everything that's happening in the world. And people just don't like to talk about it. So I'm trying to open up those lines of communication to just talk.
Okay, so Rachel, tell us more about what you bring to the show and what you hope to accomplish on the show.
Well, I am a woman as well that's been flawed. You know, I have flaws. I still have flaws, but I'm getting through those. I think that we don't give ourselves enough credit. You know, we all have things that we have endured. We go through things. We are not perfect. However, we are getting through this. We are still chosen. God has still chosen me. I still have a work to do in this world. I still have women that I need to impact, you know, through my testimony, my own personal testimony. I too have been to prison. A lot of people don't know that, but I am a walking testimony to let that next woman know just because what you have been through does not determine your outcome in life, okay? You can still be successful. You can still be an entrepreneur. You can still be a go-getter. You can still be beautiful. You can be all that and then some, okay? And I am here, flaws and all, to let that woman know that. All right.
Have you thought about starting a church?
That's going to be next.
I would go to that church. Okay, so you sent me a very powerful clip, and this is a show that you did not too long ago. Let's go ahead and roll the clip, and then we can talk about it. Here we go.
Have you forgiven, even if it's yourself? Oh, the Lord just dropped that in my spirit. I was not. And I'm getting emotional. Wow. Safe space.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Have you forgiven the person who hurt you? Even if that person is you?
I'll say I realize I have forgiven the person that hurt me when I was able to feed this person on his deathbed. And that's when I really realized that I had forgiven him. It wasn't until I was able to walk into the hospital room and have eyes of, I don't know if I want to say pity, but of concern, because it's still a person that I share my son with. Okay. And so I think it took that moment for me to really realize, you know what? Yeah. And as a Christian, we have a duty to forgive. That's first and foremost. Yeah. Okay. And so the Lord was already working on me with that, you know, because I held on to so much anger and resentment for so long, you know, to where it really just held me back from any type of relationship, whether it was between me and a guy, whether it was family, you know, whatever, friendships. I really couldn't give them the best of me.
Right.
You know, and they deserve the best of me. My family deserves the best of me. My children, even with my children, you know, I could see the disconnect with even my babies because of so much anger and resentment. So it was not just for him that Lord wanted me to do that. It was more for me, you know, and the way that he wanted me to present myself in the best way, in the best light, to give you deserve to show your greatness, Rachel.
Right.
You know, no matter what somebody did to you, you deserve to show your greatness. And so it wasn't until then that I actually knew, because I would say it so much, I forgive him. But it wasn't until he was in that state where I was able to walk into that hospital room and truly, truly say, I forgive you.
Okay.
I forgive you, because what I don't want to do is ever be faced with a situation where, and I'm looking at my son, knowing that this is his father.
Yeah.
You know, and the love that he has for his father has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And so I need to be here in the greatest way I can for my child. And so in doing that, I felt that it was absolutely necessary to let go of what happened to me 6-7 years ago. Because at what point, Rachel, are you going to continue to drag it?
Right.
At what point are you going to just cut it off and say, okay, enough is enough. Can we go on now? Can we move on with your life? Can you do what it is that you've been called to do? Can you show up in the form that God has ordained for you to show up? Because you can't do it with holding all this baggage.
Wow, so raw and powerful. I want to start with you, TiQuanna. As you were watching that, what was going through your mind? Because you teared up.
Yeah, and I teared up here as well. Because flawed for purpose, that's what I mean. I think coming around this time, I didn't feel like I was worthy to even be up here trying to assist or trying to help women because of everything that I did when I wasn't walking in my purpose or serving God to the best of my abilities. So I just get a little emotional when I think about everything I've been through and where I am now.
Yeah, Rachel, it took a lot of courage to share that story. There's an old saying that anger, resentment, not giving forgiveness is a poison that you drink, hoping that you're going to hurt the other person, but it really just hurts yourself.
Yeah.
So what was that freeing for you to be able to do that, especially for your son?
Absolutely. It was so freeing for me. I didn't realize how bogged down I was until I finally released all the bitterness and the anger and the resentment. I didn't realize how I was keeping my best self away from so many people that deserve to witness my best self, the best Rachel. I was limiting myself in so many areas of my life because of what this one person, this one act. And when I had to realize, and God had to tell me, listen, Rachel, there's so many things you did wrong, but I've always been a forgiving God. I've always forgiven you. And so that is when the light bulb really hit me. And I said, well, you know what? He said, yeah. So the same grace that you asked me for, I expect for you to show that grace to that next individual, because it's the same grace that you need from me each and every day.
One of my favorite questions is when I have two guests is to ask each guest to brag about their co-host. So we'll start with you, Rachel. What is it about TiQuanna who makes her brilliant? What does she bring to the show?
Listen, TiQuanna is her heart. She has a gentle spirit. When I talk to her, and I don't even have to be in the same room. I can just be on the phone. I can feel her spirit, her genuineness, the love of Christ, like spirits. When you connect, when you're connected to the right person, your spirits connect. It just feels right, and this is what I love about her. Our spirits connect. It's genuine. It's peaceful. There's no turmoil. There's no strife. It just fits. And this is what I really love about her genuineness, her openness, her willingness to even serve, and it's not just about her. She's open to everyone. That's what I love about her. She's not selfish. She's selfless. This is what I love about her. She exhibits what a Christian should look like.
Okay, same question. What does Rachel bring to the show?
Boldness, power. Rachel and I met through church. So, and it was like kindred spirits. In the Bible, they call it when your spirit bears witness. And that's what I think. That's what I think it did. I just love everything about her.
All right, I think we need to start to wrap up the show, or all three of us will be in tears. So why don't we give you both a chance to give final thoughts? We'll start with you, Rachel. Final thoughts. What would you like to share, people?
I would like to share and let every woman out there know that you are enough. You are enough just the way that you are. If you ever felt like you needed more of anything, more of something, just something added, or if it just ever seemed like it just wasn't enough, I'm here to tell you, you are enough. And that is what the Lord has always told me, even in my moments of doubt. And I know that we doubt so much as women, but I'm going to tell you, just like the Holy Spirit told me, you are enough just the way you are. You are enough.
And I want to echo that and just add on that that's the reason why I started this entire thing. We're all flawed. Yes. None of us are going to be perfect. But just know in those imperfections, in those flaws, you still have purpose. There's a reason why you're here. Even when you feel like you don't want to be here, there's purpose for you. And I encourage you to get a relationship with God so that you can find that purpose quicker.
Wow.
You're worth it.
What a powerful show. Next time I'm bringing Kleenex.
Right.
All right. We're going to end with the website, which is flawedforpurpose.com. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your
Thank
journey.
you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.